Hi, welcome to a chef called Rhonda. I'm Rhonda and this is my kitchen. Welcome back. Hi guys. I just wanted to take a moment before we get into today's recipe. Shout out because I know you guys have asked. Kudos to and a shout out to Pick Up Limes. You can find her on YouTube. She's great at cooking as well as she is a minimalist and prides herself and her channel on doing things herself. The Italian Wine Biscuit, a Neapolitan classic cookie. Grab your trusty wooden spoon. We'll all meet back in the kitchen while I show you how to make Italian wine biscuits. While I glove up, I'd like to go over the ingredients with you. First, I have my oven preheated at 350 degrees. And I will let you know that they bake initially for about 20 minutes and then I reduce the heat to 300 after the first 18 to 20 minutes down to 300 and I let them go another 10 minutes. I'm working today with just 2 regular baking pans. I have one Silpat lined and one with parchment paper. The ingredients are truly minimal. Super easy. I have 4½ cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of your good quality sea salt. Can you see that? Tablespoons of a good quality baking powder, 1 cup of your ordinary white granulated sugar. And for my wet ingredients, I have 1 cup of, and yes, you can use either sunflower, canola, or vegetable oil. That's 1 cup. However, good tip here. Grandma would say, don't use olive oil for this recipe. And I side with that. However, that said, I have had both ways. I just don't like the heaviness the olive oil brings to this biscotti or the biscotti or the cookie or the biscuit. I like to stay either canola oil, sunflower, safflower, or your regular vegetable oil. So we have 1 cup of that. And I have 1 cup robust red wine. Now, a little tip here, really, truly, when would grandmother make wine biscuits? Okay, so grandpa would have a big jug, maybe a gallon or 2 red wine, right? Because Italians, they traditionally have the wine on the table and they go through jugs. So grandma would be mindful. It was time to make wine biscuits, right? Because we waste not, want not. That was typically the time when we would make wine biscuits, when that wine jug got just to the bottom and you could see the sediment and the residue, and that actually enhanced the flavor of the wine biscuit. So let's get started. First, to our flour, I just want to incorporate our baking powder. The wire whisk, I'm just going to incorporate, and you know, you can use a sifter to sift the flour and the baking powder, but the wire whisk for me works just as well. So please keep commenting below and emailing. And next I'll add my salt. Nice. It's a super easy, super healthy, super delicious recipe to make. To add our white granulated sugar or zucchero, just incorporating the sugar very easily into the flour. So I'm going to grab our trusty wooden spoon and I'm going to make a well. Have you guessed? Inside the well goes our oil and the vino, in that order. Work by hand. I will caution, it does require a nice strong arm and spatula or wooden spoon. I'm just going to add vino, spatula first. I have a nice silicone spatula and I'm just going to incorporate like so. Nice and easy, or you're going to have little spritz of red colored flowers everywhere. About 300 strokes to be certain that we get everything incorporated. I'm going to get in here with my hands. As I mix the dough, just a couple of tips. This wine biscuit has such a nice long shelf life. Honestly, I think you could go a month. It's impossible because of the wine, right? Just going to work it a little bit on the cutting board. Now, I don't want to over knead this dough. I want the warmth from my hands to get right over that dough. And I'm just going to make a nice ball, wine biscuit dough. This is a crucial step, and this is actually the baker technique. This is what makes a wine biscuit a wine biscuit. Grab your pastry cutter, okay? And you're going to cut. Should be about 2 inches in diameter. Create a rope. I make my ropes about 6 inches in length, and don't be afraid of the dough. Work with your dough. Going to take the two ends and make a knot and send one end through, and wine biscuit. Biscotti Di Vino, cookie of the wine, are perfect with afternoon tea, afternoon coffee. They're considered a rustic treat. This is not like an elegant cookie, okay? It's just your traditional Italian. There's nothing in the house. Does anybody have a wine biscuit? Give me that and I'll go. Kind of cookie. If you want to get extra perfect, you can snip off the ends with your pastry cutter, making the ends a bit more defined. I like them a little bit smaller. I know my grandfather, he would like them nice and big and chunky, and then he would dip them in the coffee with the whiskey. My grandfather always had the coffee with a shot of whiskey. It's a bit difficult to do it this way, but for sake of showing you, I'm just going to make a knot. So send one end right through, like so, and it looks so pretty. Do you see that? Do you see that? Can you see that? I will preempt a couple of questions I can already foresee. One being, can you use white wine? And I'm going to be very honest and very direct and say no. You really can't. The full flavor of a full body red wine is truly what makes this cookie. So if you have any leftover Merlot or Burgundy, those are perfect reds to use. But as far as white, I've tasted them. You can do it. Physically, you can make a white wine biscuit, but you're not getting that real intense flavor. For sure not. But yeah, so it's doable. I'm going to continue making our wine biscuits. I'll meet you back in the kitchen once our cookie trays are all set and ready to roll into our oven. Please, if you haven't subscribed to A Chef Called Rhonda, please consider subscribing to A Chef Called Rhonda. It's always fun, it's always healthy, and always delicious. I'm going to pop these in the oven, and we'll meet back in the kitchen for that taste test. All right. Welcome back. Our wine biscuits are finished. They smell heavenly, and I'm going to lift the wine biscuit so you can see the base. The bottom of the wine biscuit is golden brown. Tops have that nice hue of red vino. So basically we made 32 cookies. Actually 30 remain here because I had one break and one robbed from the family member working in the other area. I like to plate them while they're warm so that they can kind of stay moist. And that way they sit next to each other and they don't get too tough too fast. No artificial ingredients, and they have a shelf life of 30 days. And if you haven't tried an authentic Italian wine biscuit, I would put it on your task sheet or your list of things to do. I think Mr. Beast would even enjoy making these Italian wine biscuits. I have just a couple of notes to mention prior to tasting our wine biscuits today. One, many thanks for subscribing to A Chef Called Rhonda. Hi to all my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. Number two, as a shout out to Mr. Beast. Congratulations on being the #1 YouTuber for 2021, or the #1 highest paid YouTube creator in the year 2021. Mr. Beast, if you like wine and you like cookies, you might want to try this recipe, or perhaps even give me a shout out. And lastly, I wanted to say yet again thank you to all my subscribers. And now let's take our little taste test here. I'm going to grab a cookie here. Oh God, the smell is heavenly. I'm going to break it in half. Nice moistness. Can you see that right there? Wine biscuit should be a little bit crusty on the outside because yes, my grandfather, my grandparents, anybody that I know that eats wine biscuits will dunk their wine biscuit in whatever liquid they choose to. And the taste is not too sweet. You get a little punch of that, what's that flavor, and then you identify in the back of the throat that it's a little bit of red wine. So moist inside. It has a real old world flavor. If you haven't tried a wine biscuit, try this recipe. Again, only 6 ingredients, easy to make, inside of an hour. Oh my God, so good. They get better with age. From my kitchen to yours, it's always healthy, always delicious, and always fun. Until we meet again, arrivederci, perfetto. Mangia wine biscuits. It's what's for dolce. Biscotti Di Vino, dolce vita. Ciao! Bye! A cookie that has a shelf life of more than 30 days, 6 ingredients, and no artificial ingredients. Now, how great is that? The Italian Wine Biscuit.